Today, we're going to be learning about minor scales and how they are really just a different way of looking at a major scale. Let's get started. If you remember from our previous episode on major scale modes, the major scale can be rearranged to make different sounding scales, and we call these scales modes. Each mode had a name. There was Ionian, Dorian, the major scale starting on the second note, Phrygian, starting and ending on the third note, Lydian, starting and ending on the fourth note, Mixolydian, the fifth note, and Aeolian starting on the sixth note. It is this Aeolian mode that is actually referred to as minor. Let's say this in different words. A minor scale is really a major scale that starts and ends on the sixth note. So, with that being said, let's look at a couple of major scales and find out what their sixth note is. Here is a C major scale. The sixth note is an A. So, if we start the scale on this note, it will be called an A minor scale. More specifically, an A natural minor scale. Now, just a side note about the word natural. Minor scales are typically altered in two ways that we're going to talk about shortly. Natural means that no alteration has taken place. That's all. Okay, let's look at another scale. Here is the F major scale. The sixth note is a D. So, starting the scale here would give you the D natural minor scale. Okay, let's do one more. Here is the G major scale. The sixth note is an E. Starting the scale here would give you the E natural minor scale. Are you starting to see another way of doing this? One that might not have you counting up 6 scale notes to find the minor scale? If so, well done. If not, we're going to cover this right now. If you see a similarity between the relationships of the letters we just covered, C to A, or F to D, or G to E, and you look at them on the piano, you might notice that they are just 3 semitones and 2 letter names apart. This is extremely helpful, and it's an efficient way of figuring out a major scale's relative minor scale. Wait a second, Dan. What do you mean, relative minor scale? Well, if you take a quick look at the minor scales that we created out of their major counterparts, you will see that they are essentially the same scale, and they also have the same key signature. Because of this, they're related by that key signature. It's kind of like a musical bloodline. Now, you're probably thinking in terms of E minor coming from the loins of G major, right? No, is it just me? Well, that's okay. We'll keep going. Back to our 3 semitones discovery. You can find any relative minor scale by moving down 3 semitones and 2 letter names from the first note of that major scale. Let's try it out. Here is the A major scale. If we move down 3 semitones and 2 letter names, we get F sharp. So the relative minor of A major is F sharp minor. Let's do another one. Here is the D flat major scale. Moving down 3 semitones and 2 letter names gives us B flat. So the relative minor of D flat is B flat minor. Last one. Here is the C sharp major scale. Down 3 semitones and 2 letter names gives us A sharp minor. If you aren't confused, it's because you must be amazing, because this concept always spins the heads of my students. If this is spinning your head too, it's because you've either been watching too many back-to-back episodes and haven't had the time to apply the information yet. It just hasn't soaked in. All you need to do is make sure you're solid on your major keys, so go back, rewatch a video, and practice, practice, practice. Please use the resources and worksheets I've provided on this website to work on and apply this new concept. It will serve you quite well to do so.